Favorite band with masks attached is back, and I've been waiting in anticipation for weeks now. Welcome to Ariana Does Music, where today we're taking a look at the newest EP release from the Bunny the Bear called You Have to Die a Few Times. You may remember about half a year ago, I did a review of their newest full album, The Way We Rust, which was actually one of my most well-received album reviews overall, due in part to the actual band Facebook page sharing the review on their page. So I do have to thank Matthew Tybor and crew for doing that for me. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, by the way. There's always been sort of a revolving door lineup, at least with the exact duo of the Bunny and the Bear, with Matthew the Bunny staying since 2008, I believe, when the band was initially formed, while the Bear has changed from Chris Hutka to, I believe, Chris Patterson to Haley Robeck to, I think there's one more in there, and then there's Joseph Garcia, and now we're at another new Bear here, so we keep getting this constant change in sound. It's always been Matthew writing lyrics and doing production, but I believe, I may be wrong on here, as the band's history went on more and more, he put more touches on the music, whether it be basic production to now what I believe is him writing all the music for the band. It's a bit of a weird story, because from what I see through his advertisements, he's running Tough Luck Music, he's making most of the music for the band. I imagine the new band, of course, and studio musicians do have a large amount of influence on the writing process, but it does seem like a lot of it very much is Matthew's influence on the music, which is a good thing because he does have a mind for it. Not only just this band, but music in general within this genre. Just look at his side project. I believe it's Ramblings from the Rabbit Hole. I'll make sure to link it down in the description, and if I forget, someone please comment so I can remember, so I can leave that down in the description for you all to check out. So, going into this new album, the first new single, Let Go, really was a showcase of what happens from release to release with the Bunny and the Bear. There's always this sort of constant streamlined musical attitude, with it being a blend of electronic and post-hardcore with just hints of metal every now and then. It seems like that general fusion does stick around for the most part, but as time goes on, like compare the original self-titled efforts to The Way We Rust, and the electronic definitely seems more prevalent here, which I think is a good thing in the long run. The quality of production when it comes to that sort of stuff is absolutely phenomenal. It's actually one of the few, acts that I can actually enjoy when they employ those sorts of things into their music. Like looking back on bands such as Asking Alexandria in their early days, like the original mix of Not the American Average, that sort of electronic music I can't really put to any justice, but what the Bunny and the Bear does is they use it not only to their own advantage with very subtle touches, but when they do go overboard, it's usually complemented by pounding drum tracks, so you have one of the vocalists coming in behind it, just trying to bring back this overall feel of what the other mixture of the genre is, again, that being post-hardcore or metal, and you see bits and pieces of that in this new single, Let Go. You get a lot of vibes from if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all with this new person who is the Bear. I don't know their name, so I'm just going to refer to them as the Bear throughout this review here. They have a lot of vibes of more classic The Bunny and the Bear, and with Let Go, you actually see him take a bit more of a center stage as compared to, in my opinion, a lot of these single songs or album promotion singles that you see often, because most of the time when you think of The Bunny and the Bear, you do think of Matthew Tybor coming in with his very harsh, rough vocals. You think of that being the identity for the duo here. But more often than not, I actually looked back into a lot of their singles and songs overall, and the Bear usually, no matter who it is, gets more of a spotlight on a general portion of the album, whether that be for Matthew not wanting to stress his voice out when it comes from going from one song to the other, because from what I've heard, his singing technique for the most part is there's never really any there's never really any technique to it. He's just sort of, doing it, putting forth the effort. He, of course, knows how to do it without injuring his voice, because at this point he'd have, like, Oliver Sykes' issues with having blown out his voice, and he hasn't really done that to the best of my knowledge yet, so what I'm saying here is Let Go really does have these elements of the classic The Bunny and the Bear feeling, while also managing to stay true to this new direction, because the instrumentals are very much focused on an electronic path here. You do get, again, swooping drums. There's bits of guitar that I really do enjoy. They're very groovy, very technically based. It was a very good lead single from the album. Going back to my review I did for The Way We Rust, it seems like that album was really the beginning of this new shift towards a much more bigger focus, excuse me, I'm still a little sick, I'm starting to lose some of my words here, bigger focus on the electronic aspects of their music, which I think, once again, is a great idea to do, because they do have a extreme talent, both Matthew and the production crew behind a lot of the Bunny the Bears music, and that talent shows from the energy-ridden interludes from The Way We Rust to this very short yet sweet and to the point EP that they have put out here with You Have to Die a Few Times. To tell the truth, my favorite song from this release by far teases you with the sort of build-up, again, going in this electronic direction, of the introduction to the song before melting into a beautiful set of lyrics from the Bear with slightly rougher vocals calling forth from the background as Matthew Tybor adds just enough of that original feeling to make this feel like a song that is very true to the sound of the Bunny the Bear here. It's my favorite for a lot of reasons here. There's connections to this older attitude with Matthew Tybor almost calling in the background as a slight reminder to go for a sort of metaphor here. I doubt that's what he wanted to do here. I think that's just the general structure of the song they were going for here, but I'm just doing a little fancy thinking here. And of course, I can't stress enough that this album really is a good bridging point to where, if you're not sure if you want to listen to songs that have more of an electronic focus or a more post-hardcore / metal focus, I feel like this album really is a good starting point for the Bunny and the Bear, besides of course their album Stories, which I feel is also very much a opening album for this band. But yeah, the chorus for this song is very much filled with energy and emotion and lyrical honesty, something that their discography has never been short on by far. Again, calling back to The Way We Rust, that album was full of love, torment, torture, both physical and mental, from what Matthew Tybor was going through. It was an album that was very much as personal as it was emotional, which is a very good combination to pull off here. And the absolute brutal honesty is what I really prefer with the Bunny and the Bears music. The song switches this formula around in a very welcome manner that made me come back time and time again just to listen to it. But that's not the only good song on this record here. Matt shines in the later goings of other songs such as Pray, which has flowing synths, and I feel is more of a song that if you prefer this new direction a lot more, Pray is going to be the song that you go to more often as compared to others. A lot of ideas are explored both lyrically and musically, although this does seem very much focused on the new direction as compared to others. And they keep making calls to the older albums for the Bunny the Bear and this newer direction because they have a lot of albums. They released a lot of music in the past 10 years, so it's almost unavoidable to make those references to the older albums and what they're doing now in the present. The drum tracks on this album are also very phenomenal. I don't know who exactly put those together. I wasn't able to find a whole lot of info on the album. Hopefully when I get my CD and record in the mail pretty soon from the pre-order that I got from the band, I'll be able to look in there and see who tracked those things, who the studio musicians were. Because I'm really interested to see who it was, because it did seem very fresh as compared to what I admit, looking back in the past of the Bunny and the Bear. A lot of their earlier albums, such as, not really early, more like Food Chain and Elia Wrote This, had drums that were very almost repetitive feeling, but this album did feel like a breath of fresh air in that department. Overall, I feel like, to coin a phrase from the original The Bunny and the Bear album, You Have to Die a Few Times really flies like a bird and soars higher above the expectations that I had for this band, just completely blowing them all away. I am really looking forward to what I've heard is going to be a new album actually coming out in 2018, a full-length studio release, so it's going to be very interesting to see. I once again hope that they very much go for this new direction fully, because it's a very good one. So to cap off this review here, I'm going to be giving You Have to Die a Few Times by the Bunny the Bear a 4 out of 5. I wouldn't exactly call it phenomenal, but for the most part this album does have a sort of mark that is going to leave on my memory for the very near future, and possibly more so going forward. The Bunny the Bear they're one of my favorite bands. If I had to rank my favorite bands, it'd be My Chemical Romance, Dance Gavin Dance, and then the Bunny the Bear, purely for their wide range of ideas in music, and just overall honesty and commitment to modern music. It's a very solid show of what love for music in the modern age can really do for the quality and staying power of your songs. But that is the review here. I hope you guys enjoyed, and Matthew, if you're watching this, you could share the video again. I'm just joking, you don't have to. But like I said, this is the end of the review, so what did you think? Go down in the comment section, let me know what you think. If there was anything you agreed with, anything you disagreed with. Do you just not even enjoy my videos at all and you're getting tired of this very copy and paste outro? Because honestly, it does get a little tiring trying to come up with new shtick every single time I do it. So don't forget to like, dislike, subscribe, unsubscribe, share it, tweet it, Instagram it, tout it, and don't forget, to be safe, everyone. I'll see you in the next video.